Part 1. The hidden flaw of common compliments. Most women hear the same compliments over and over again. You're beautiful. You're smart. You're amazing. They smile, nod politely, maybe even blush. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Those words rarely leave a lasting mark. Why? Because they're predictable, safe, ordinary. Now pause and think about this for a moment. If every man is saying the same thing, why would she remember you? As humans, we crave not just attention, but depth, recognition, and emotional resonance. That's especially true for women, who are often seen but not truly understood. So while surface-level compliments may earn a smile, they rarely awaken real emotion. They touch the ego, not the soul. Brain. Why most compliments fail. Psychology insight. Repetition kills novelty. The brain filters out what's familiar. Lack of precision. General praise feels lazy, even hollow. No emotional weight. Flattery without intention feels manipulative or superficial. What she truly desires, though she may never say it, is to be seen in the way no one else sees her. That means noticing her thoughts, not just her looks, valuing her strength, not just her sweetness, admiring her impact, not just her presence. Compass. A Stoic's perspective. From a Stoic lens, a man doesn't praise to gain favor. He speaks with deliberate awareness, recognizing what is rare and worthy of admiration. A wise man is not generous with praise, he is precise with it. Inspired by Marcus Aurelius. And that's exactly why this video matters. We're not here to hand you lines to flatter someone. We're here to give you a deeper framework. 5 rare compliments that speak to the soul, each rooted in emotional intelligence, Stoic intention, and psychological resonance. Because when you understand how to see and speak to the parts of her most men overlook, you don't just impress her. You become unforgettable. Part 2. The psychology behind forbidden compliments. Let's be honest, most men default to the obvious. They compliment a woman's beauty, her smile, her body, and while those compliments aren't wrong, they're common, which makes them forgettable. But here's what psychology teaches us. The human brain is wired to ignore what's predictable and to pay special attention to what's rare, unexpected, and emotionally resonant. So when you offer a compliment that touches not her appearance, but her inner world, her way of thinking, her resilience, her presence, you immediately stand out. Not as someone trying to impress her, but as someone who actually sees her. Magnifying glass compliments are a double-edged sword. A generic compliment feels nice in the moment, but it disappears the second someone else says it. A rare compliment, on the other hand, lingers. It echoes in her mind. That's because it touches her identity, not just her image. Think about it. When was the last time someone acknowledged how she thinks, what she endures, or why others feel better just by being around her? Person in lotus position. Stoic wisdom. Speak with precision, not performance. The Stoic man doesn't flatter to gain approval. He chooses his words with purpose. He doesn't say what sounds good, he says what means something. A Stoic sees past the surface. He doesn't chase beauty, he honors depth. Speak only if it improves upon the silence. Marcus Aurelius. And when you speak like this, when you see and respect the essence of who she is, you're not just being polite. You're activating one of the deepest human desires, to be truly understood. We live in a world obsessed with appearances. Compliments like, "You're beautiful," or "You're stunning," are handed out constantly on social media, on dates, even in passing. And while women may smile in response, here's what most men don't realize: those words rarely leave a lasting impact. Why? Because they're surface level, predictable, easy. But a compliment that truly touches a woman? That lingers in her mind long after the conversation ends? It's the one she hears least often, the one that honors the way she thinks. Brain why it works. Recognition beyond the surface. Most men are wired to notice and comment on appearance first. But a woman's mind, her unique patterns of thought, her ability to connect ideas, the quiet brilliance behind her perspective, is often completely overlooked. Complimenting her mind signals that you're truly present, that you see beyond the obvious. In psychology, this taps into what's called self-verification theory. People are deeply moved when others reflect back their true identity, not the mask they wear, but the essence beneath it. This is also where Stoicism enters the picture. A Stoic man isn't chasing approval. He observes. He speaks with intention. He values character, not image. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. B1. Marcus Aurelius. Speaking head how to use this compliment. Wait until she shares something thoughtful, an insight, an opinion, a story that reveals her inner world. Look her in the eyes and say, "That's a really interesting way to look at it. I don't think I've ever met someone who sees things the way you do." Then pause. Let that truth land. This isn't about flattery. It's about recognition. And when a woman feels truly seen, not just for her beauty, but for her mind, you create a connection that's rare and unforgettable. Compliment number 2. Admire her resilience. Green circle introduction. Beyond appearances. We live in a world where women are constantly praised for how they look, for being beautiful, stylish, or charming. But here's a question worth asking. When was the last time someone truly acknowledged a woman for how she holds herself together when life falls apart? Think about it. When the pressure is on, when the situation turns chaotic, when emotions run high and everything could break down. Some people collapse, but some women don't. They breathe, steady themselves, and respond with quiet composure. Yet, that strength, the inner strength, is almost never praised. And that's exactly what makes it one of the most powerful compliments you can give. Brain main insight. Emotional resilience is a rare virtue. Most compliments focus on surface-level traits, beauty, kindness, charm, but true emotional resilience, grace under fire, is rare and often overlooked. When a man notices and verbalizes that strength, it doesn't just make her feel appreciated, it makes her feel respected on a much deeper level. In psychological terms, this speaks to her core identity, not her ego. It validates her capacity to endure, to lead, to remain calm when the world is anything but. And from a Stoic perspective, this is the type of strength that truly matters. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." A Stoic man recognizes strength in others, not the loud kind, but the still, unshakable kind. Bullseye how to use this compliment effectively. When she shares a story, perhaps about navigating a family crisis, staying composed at work under pressure, or managing anxiety with dignity, pause, look her in the eyes, and say something like, Most people would have lost their cool in that situation. But you handled it with serious composure. That's rare. Then pause again. Let it land. This isn't flattery, it's recognition. And in a world that constantly underestimates women, being recognized for inner strength is magnetic. Part 3. Compliment her impact, the invisible power she brings. Beyond appearance, toward influence, most compliments focus on what's obvious: beauty, charm, or style. But what if the most powerful thing about a woman isn't what meets the eye, but what she brings into a room? This is where many men miss the mark. And this is also where Stoic insight becomes a powerful tool. True value isn't in how things look, it's in how they function, in the effect they have on others. Ask yourself, how often do you acknowledge a woman not for what she wears or says, but for how she makes others feel in her presence? Magnifying glass analysis. Why this compliment works. Emotional significance. Women, like all humans, want to feel that they matter. Complimenting her impact addresses a deep psychological need, the desire to be a positive force in the lives of others. Psychological depth. You are not complimenting her performance, you're recognizing her essence. That subtle ability to uplift others, to bring warmth, lightness, or clarity to a group without effort is rare. Stoic principle. A Stoic man observes and honors true virtue. He sees beyond appearances and celebrates what is lasting: influence, integrity, and presence. Speech balloon practical application. What to say and when. Next time you're in a group setting, at dinner, at a gathering, during a conversation, pause for a moment. Notice if the energy shifts when she enters the room or speaks. If laughter grows louder, if people seem more alive or at ease, that's your cue. Say this, calmly and sincerely. You make the people around you better. And you don't even try. It just happens. That's rare. Let it land. No need to over-explain. Your words are precise. She'll remember them, not because you flattered her, but because you saw her. Brain conclusion. Influence over attention. In a world where attention is cheap, genuine influence is priceless. Complimenting a woman's impact isn't about feeding her ego. It's about honoring her power to change the emotional climate of a space. And when you do that, you don't just stand out, you become unforgettable. Part 4. Compliment her inspiration. When she makes you want to be better. The quiet power of inspiration. There's a unique kind of influence that doesn't push, doesn't preach, and doesn't demand. It simply invites. Some people walk into our lives and, without saying a word, make us want to show up differently. Stronger, wiser, more grounded. When a woman carries herself with that kind of quiet dignity, courage, or authenticity, it often awakens something deep in us. And that feeling, that drive to rise, that's what we mean when we say she inspires. Why this compliment resonates deeply. Universal human need. At the core of human psychology lies the desire to matter, to make a difference, to influence the world in a meaningful way. Telling someone they inspire you affirms that their presence has real value. Mutual growth. Unlike surface compliments, this one is about shared evolution. You're not just observing her, you're responding to her, growing because of her. Stoic relevance. The Stoics believed in arete, moral excellence, and encouraged seeking role models to help us live better. When you recognize someone as a source of that upward pull, You honor their virtue as well as your own journey. Speech balloon practical application. When and how to say it. This compliment works best when she demonstrates clarity in her values, courage in her decisions, or grace under pressure. It might be how she speaks up for someone, handles a challenge, or simply lives with intention. Here's how you can express it naturally. Part 5. Compliment her energy, recognizing the power of presence. What we feel but don't always see. Have you ever walked into a room and, without a word being spoken, felt a shift? Maybe the space felt lighter, more relaxed, more alive, and then you realize it's her. Some people don't just enter a room, they change it. Not through force, but through the kind of presence that's deeply felt, even if hard to explain. This final compliment isn't about how she looks, what she does, or even what she says. It's about who she is, the subtle frequency she transmits into the world around her. Why complimenting energy is so powerful. Essence, not performance. This type of compliment doesn't reward a specific action. Instead, it honors her essence, something more innate and lasting. You're not reacting to what she did, but to who she is at her core. Soul-level recognition. According to applied psychology, we are constantly responding to emotional signals in our environment, often unconsciously. Noticing and naming the energy someone brings is a rare and powerful form of awareness. Stoic insight. The Stoics taught that our internal state affects the world around us. Even when we're silent, to recognize someone's presence as elevating is to acknowledge their virtue made visible. In this way, you're praising the impression of character, not the performance of charm. Speech balloon practical application. What to say and when. In social settings, whether casual or formal, be mindful of moments when the emotional climate shifts after she arrives. It might feel warmer, calmer, or more alive. That's when you say, with honesty and ease. It's wild how the whole mood shifts when you're around. You bring an energy that's impossible to ignore. This doesn't flatter, it reflects. It tells her you're attuned to more than words or appearances. You see what most people miss. Brain conclusion. Beyond compliments. Toward connection. When you learn to recognize and articulate the energy someone brings, you deepen your connection with them and with yourself. Because in truth, what we feel in others often mirrors what we value most within. To notice presence is to live presently. And that, in the Stoic sense, is both strength and serenity. You really inspire me to be better. The way you carry yourself makes me want to level up. That statement is powerful because it's not about her pleasing you. It's about how her presence sharpens you. Brain conclusion. From admiration to aspiration. We live in a world filled with noise, likes, filters, empty flattery. But this compliment cuts through all of it. It says, "You make me want to rise." And for someone who's walking the path of growth, like you are, that's one of the most stoic forms of gratitude you can offer. Part 4. Conclusion. Why these compliments work. Beyond flattery, toward connection. Let's take a step back. Everything we've covered, each compliment, is more than just a string of words. It's a signal, a reflection, a moment of recognition that touches something far deeper than ego. Because let's be honest, women hear compliments all the time. But being truly seen? That's rare. And that's where these words make their impact. So what makes these compliments different? What sets these compliments apart? Not pickup lines, but emotional recognition. These aren't manipulative or rehearsed phrases. Each compliment is rooted in truthful observation. They're acknowledgments, not tactics. When you say, "You inspire me to be better," you're not performing admiration. You're expressing a shift that happened within you. The power of authenticity. According to applied psychology, the human brain is wired to detect incongruence. In simple terms, we can feel when someone's being fake. Women, especially, are often highly attuned to tone, posture, and emotional subtext. That's why authenticity is non-negotiable. It's not just what you say, but whether your energy matches your words. Emotional resonance and Stoic virtue. Stoic philosophy teaches us to live with intention, to see clearly, and to speak with integrity. These compliments work because they align with those principles. You're not praising superficial traits, you're recognizing character, presence, and virtue. That creates resonance, not just attention. Brain final takeaway. Speak like a Stoic, not a stereotype. Here's the bottom line. If your goal is meaningful connection, your words must reflect clarity of thought and depth of perception. Don't speak like every man. Speak like a man who sees beyond the surface, into character, energy, and soul. A man who pays attention, speaks rarely, but when he does, his words land. Because in the end, attraction based on soul-level recognition doesn't fade, it deepens. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever received a compliment that truly stayed with you? Or maybe you've given one that changed a relationship? Share your experience in the comments. I read every single one. And if you found this valuable, follow ancient Stoic secrets for more timeless wisdom, practical psychology, and powerful life tools inspired by the Stoics. Let's grow stronger together.